Stand up.
No, don't touch me.
Susan.
Stand up, Susan.
No.
Listen,
Sorry, I can't
It can
do
go
this.
one
I
of two
can't
ways.
do
It can
this.
go an easy way or it can go a really hard way.
I'm sorry.
We don't want it to go the hard way.
I'm so sorry. I
Susan,
can't
put
do
yourself in our position.
Now, I'm not a lawyer, but let me tell you why this woman is facing charges of manslaughter relating to the unaliving of this woman. This is 58-year-old Susan Lorincz, and police allege that on June 2nd, 2023, Susan's 35-year-old neighbor, AJ Owens, came banging on her door because earlier that evening, AJ's children were playing near Susan's house. One of the children left a tablet in the field near Susan's house, and when they went back to get it, Susan allegedly threw the tablet on the ground, threw roller skates at him, and yelled at him. There's some back and forth between Susan and the child, and then Susan swings an umbrella in the direction of the child. The children go and tell their mother, and when AJ comes banging on Susan's door, Susan shot her through the door. As in, Susan was in her home with her door shut and locked, and she took her weapon and shot through the door and killed AJ. Now, 4 days after the incident, Susan is brought into the police department for an interrogation. And in addition to giving her side of the story, Susan also tells police about the history between her and AJ Owens. So here are some clips from Susan's interrogation. It picks up with her talking about when AJ came banging on her door. The audio isn't amazing, but it's worth the watch until the end.
You're not supposed to speak to my children this way. Why did you, and then she was saying, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, holy shit. So I put my phone down somewhere and I started panicking and I started searching for the phone. And then she just kept banging and banging and banging. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Get out of here. And I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I mean, I was in the kitchen. There's the sliders and the sliders are always locked. And just that one door, so there's no escape.
Okay.
I couldn't leave, I couldn't get out of there. I was like, Jesus Christ. And she was pounding so hard, the mirror on my wall was shaking.
Okay.
I couldn't find my phone, and she was just banging and banging, screaming at me, telling me, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, she's really gonna kill me this time. That's all I kept thinking. She's literally gonna come in this house and kill me.
Okay. When did you find your phone? At what point?
After I shot her. I just started searching the house frantically until I found it, and I wanted to make sure that I called and said, I shot, because I heard her go, ugh.
So where was your phone?
I think it was in my computer room.
Okay, and how long have you known her?
I really didn't know her. I just, she was a neighbor across the street.
So how long has she been a neighbor across the street from you? Help me understand that.
A year and a half, 2 years.
And in that year and a half and 2 years, how many times have you guys been able to talk?
We've never talked. It's more like screaming.
No, okay, all right. So maybe the better word would be communicate. How many times have you guys been able to communicate in that year and a half or 2 years?
2-3 times.
What were you guys screaming about? What were you guys communicating about?
She would take her dog and walk it on my sidewalk to make sure it's shit on the sidewalk. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Of all the places you can walk and take your animal, you're going to come here. And she
Sure.
said, it's the only place my dog will go to the bathroom. Then one time she was talking to the neighbors and she said, oh, that bitch over there is crazy. And I went, no, I'm not going to, sorry. I walked over, I said, what is your problem? And she just went on a tirade. I have never heard someone scream like this woman. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
How long ago was that?
2 months ago.
2 months.
And then she was saying I called her kids all kinds of names, and I'm like, no, I didn't. And the more I said no, the more irate she got. Finally, I'm like, let me just back off, say yes, I'll apologize, and scurry away.
What kind of things was she saying that you called her kids?
I called them racial slurs, that I called them slaves, and that's never happened. I mean, when she said, I'm like, what are you, stop already, stop lying, And I was like, enough, what? I did call them retards once, because they just kept coming and coming. I said, are you retarded? You can't read the sign?
And describe to me AJ, and she's on the other side of that wall and that door. Were you able to ever see her, to see if she had anything in her hands?
There's no peephole or anything.
There's no peephole, thanks. Okay, were you able to look through a window or anything to see if she had anything in her hands or anything? Bring me to that moment where what happened?
I grabbed the gun, I was shaking like a leaf, and the more she pounded, the more she screamed. I was like, stop, 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 go away, move away. She wouldn't move away. Finally, I'm going to kill you, and that was the last time, and I just fired the weapon.
You said that you kept the firearm in the trash can in the bedroom, so at some point, did you go?
Yes.
So you thought about it and said, I might need this, or?
Absolutely. I mean, I got terrified. I mean, I was so terrified she was going to come in and kill me.
From the time that you called 911, these kids are on my property again, they're yelling, what happened that first 911 call? That time that you hung up with 911, how long before she showed up and she was pounding on the door after you hung up?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just want to be clear, 2 to 5 minutes from the first time she pounded to the time where you felt in danger enough to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
What's with the racial statements that everyone's saying that you made? I mean, have you ever used the N-word and they're using it against you? Have you said it in passing or something?
I have no idea. But it could have been I was speaking Hungarian and instead of English.
Have you ever spoke Hungarian to these kids or anything like that?
Yeah, and they looked at me and they said, "Stop making up your language." I said, "Okay."
So let me ask you, real quick, you know that we had your phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a judge actually signed an order to allow us to go into the phone and look over certain things that would assist in trying to identify the time frames of things that happened. And during the interviews where we were out there talking to other people who live in the neighborhood, they told us that there's been times where you go out and either create video, like record
Yes.
with videos or take photographs of
Yes.
what the kids are doing
Yes.
in your area out there.
Yes.
So you would imagine, I'm sure the kids have phones out in the neighborhood. A lot of them have tablets that record video. So when he's asking you questions like that, sometimes we have to ask questions that we already know the answers to. And it's not to try to trick someone, it's just to try to see how credible they are and how reliable their statements are. So when we ask them something that we already know the answer to, and if they answer us and it matches up, then some of the stuff that we're still trying to learn and put the pieces together to, we have more credibility and believe in that. Again, he was referring to some of the racial statements that have been alleged. Where does that come from?
Susan, girl, it sounds like they got you on camera using these racial slurs, and they trying to see if you're going to lie about it.
Is there something more, like, did something happen in the past, or is that how you were raised, or is it just something because these kids are just always, like,
When I was 12 years
antagonizing
old,
you?
they're forever antagonizing me. When I was 12 years old, some girl in middle school thought I was some other girl. And it came down to where I was stuck in a phone booth, and at least 35 other people were around, all blacks. And so they ended up calling the police, and he had to disperse the crowd.
I mean, is that something that's caused problems with you for the rest of your life?
No.
No, that doesn't. Okay. We spoke to everybody in these buildings, we spoke to them all in these buildings, and we talked to anybody that had cameras that would see different areas. These cameras, they hear things. We're able to hear audio, we're able to hear things like that. And everyone what we interviewed, I pretty much got the same, Detective Stith, I think we all got the same statement from every single person we interviewed. Now these people could hear her talking. She made a statement, something to the effect of, why'd you take my kid's iPad? Okay, somebody heard her say that.
I never saw the iPad. I don't know what this iPad is
A
about.
tablet or something like that? Did you?
Again, no tablet, no iPad, no electronics at all.
The thing is everything that we've learned so far, I have not learned of her ever saying to you that she wanted that she wanted to get into the house. It sounded more like she wanted to talk to you outside of the house.
How do you want to talk to outside the house when you're banging and screaming?
No one that we've interviewed so far has made any statements about her saying that she wanted to kill you.
Her son, earlier in the night, before I called the police, but he said, "I'm gonna make sure you get killed tonight." And then all of a sudden his mom's coming over and she's banging and screaming. And
What means does she have to harm you? Through the wall. So it's a cement block house. The deadbolt's activated, the door's closed, it's a block house. I'm just trying to understand what made you so in fear of this woman if you have these things between you.
when we had spoken previously on the other time when she screamed at me and I finally acquiesced, I said, "Whatever you want, I'm so sorry." She followed me a foot behind me up until I went into the house. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, she gave me the creeps. She said, "Oh, you called my kids, I think a nigger and a slave or something stupid like that." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize." And I finally said, I'm going to leave this alone. I don't need, to get killed in the street.
And how long ago was that?
That was like a month or two ago.
Okay.
And was it only her kid that you called a slave, or was there other kids in the
I
neighborhood?
never called anyone a slave.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Never.
thought you said
No,
sorry for it.
I said I'm sorry for it because I didn't know how else to diffuse the situation.
Okay, so you told her that you did say that, but you're saying that you were saying it to defuse the situation?
Yes, absolutely.
So have you ever called any of those kids?
Never called them a slave. Never.
You never said anything about this not being an underground railroad?
An Underground Railroad comment or something like that was mentioned?
No.
We did so many interviews. There
Jesus
was...
Christ, no.
Susan, I'm looking at this from the outside here, and this really is not adding up to me. there's a big jump here that you're making logically that doesn't, I can't seem to make the jump. I'm having a really hard time getting there. You've known this woman for 1.5 to 2 years. Your only communications were 2 to 3 times. She's never threatened you. She's never displayed a firearm towards you. She starts yelling on your patio area, banging hard on your door, which your door is locked, and then you're scared. Now you're saying that you're scared, which, okay, I can get to that. I can get to that point that you're scared there's someone knocking on your door.
No, it wasn't knocking, it was pounding.
Pounding. There's someone pounding on your door. I can't get to the point where pounding on the door leads to you being hurt or killed. I can't get
Because
that.
I thought she was going to break the door down.
You have an extended deadbolt, and you've never been in any kind of violent situation where someone's kicked in your door or like Kool-Aid Man through your entire wall. Describe to me, AJ, what does she look like? Is she like a muscular person that's able to, like, I don't know, do extreme feats of strength? Does she weight train in her front yard? Help me understand this.
No, I don't.
That's what I'm trying. I'm having a hard time with
He's
this.
not being facetious, he's just trying to
Yeah.
understand
Yeah, I'm
how
just-
we got from the point of someone pounding on
Creepy.
your door
But to get to, she's gonna get through the wall. From the cameras that we've looked at in the area here, this incident did not last for 5 to 10 minutes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
From some of the other statements we've got, some of the things that we've learned, it sounds more like there was 3 knocks and then there was 3 more and then she was shot. It sounds like this was very quick. Is it possible that your time is off on this?
It could be.
Okay.
Because to me, it felt like forever.
What did you feel that was going to happen?
And she's going to come in there and beat the shit out of me until I was dead.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I felt. I mean,
Now that you're out of the moment, do you think that she could somehow get through that wall? Now that you're out, now that you're not in the house anymore, and that
I
you
still feel that fear. I just still feel she was coming at me. I'm sorry. It's what I feel.
and then when we talk about racial slurs, have you made those not to anyone in particular? You've just spoken to the air. You've spoken to other people, because there's been multiple different ways that we've kind of been learning about you saying these things. Words like the N-word.
I can't remember if I said it or if I didn't say it.
Is there any reason why anybody would have any video or anything like that of you saying like the N-word? Is there any reason why someone would have that?
I have no idea. And if I did let it go, I'm sorry. I mean, I could have slipped out. I was always taught the N-word meant that you were just being unlawful, dirty, someone who doesn't work, someone who is not productive, someone who is not, acting normally, lawfully.
The Underground Railroad comment, again, remember there's people out there.
I never made an Underground Railroad comment.
Okay. Okay, so while I was out there going through the notes and everything, I went through. So the first time when you called 911 talking about the boys out there trespassing and things of that. So that call started at 8:54 p.m. and that call lasted for 5 minutes and it disconnected.
Okay.
At 8:59, deputies are on the way.
Okay.
Okay. Now you estimated that it was approximately 10 minutes after you disconnected until the AJ started pounding on your door. Is that correct? Is
Yes.
that what? Okay. So the second 911 call where you called, lady was banging on my door, I shot her through the door. That call came into our call center. It was received at 9:01, which is 2 minutes after you hung up with the communication center the first time. So that's 2 minutes that all these things that you say occurred happened at your front door. From
Okay.
pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding, I'm going to kill you, all these things. Within 2 minutes, she showed up at your front door and did all these things to the time that you pulled the trigger, went and found your phone, and then called 911.
To me, it seemed like that amount of time. That's why I thought it was that amount of time.
Well, so clearly we've established that that was not true,
Okay,
that that's not the
understood.
case, but that's what you felt it was.
Yes, it
So
felt
you
like
also
that.
told me that that's what you heard, that she was
Yes.
going to kill you. Is it possible that she did not say that, and that's what you heard or you believed, just like you believed it was 10 minutes between those calls?
I just thought she said, I'm going to kill you.
At this point, we've discussed it with the state, and they are on the same terms as far as charging you with manslaughter, okay?
Okay. I don't know what to say. I was in fear for my life. I mean, honest to God, I just feared that she was going to come through that door. I'm sorry, that's how I felt.
All right, Susan? All right, we're going to have you go with this deputy here.
No,
I'm sorry?
no,
No what?
I can't.
What's wrong? What's going
I
on?
just can't. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we're to that point where that's what's going to happen. Obviously, this isn't a conviction. This is you being charged, and then you're going to have your day in court to present your side of the story. Okay, so you're going to go with this deputy.
No, I'm not.
You're going to be booked in
No, I'm not.
and fingerprinted.
No.
They're going to take your pictures, and then you will have an arraignment in the morning.
I'm not going. Sorry.
There's a phone down there. You'll be able to call whoever you need to call, and right there in booking.
I'm not going.
But Susan, we are going. There's no change in that now. You're under arrest. In fact, we can probably go ahead and put handcuffs on her.
Yeah.
Let's
Come on,
let's
Susan,
get you
stand up.
handcuffed.
No.
Stand up.
No, don't touch me.
Susan,
Stand up, Susan.
don't.
No.
Listen,
Sorry, I can't.
It can
do
go
this.
one
I
of two
can't
ways.
do
It can
this.
go an easy way or it can go a really hard way.
I'm sorry.
We don't want it to go the hard way.
I'm so sorry. I
Susan,
can't
put
do
yourself in our position. There's no choice in this. You're going over there.
this. I'm sorry. I can't do this.
Susan, you understand that from the point of the story that you've given us, that by refusing and resisting, that it's making you look bad, okay?
I'm
And
sorry,
I understand
just
your
can't.
reluctance to want to
I don't
go.
feel good. I just can't do
Okay,
this.
well, they have medical staff over there
As soon
that
as
can
you get over
assist
there, there's a
you.
nurse right in the front.
They can,
No.
you give them the
can't
prescription
do this.
medications that you're taking, all of that. They will assist you in making sure that you get the care you need.
No,
But
I can't
we're
do
going
this.
over there, okay? You're
I
gonna go
can't.
over there and,
I just can't do this.
okay, well,
Come on, Susan, stand up.
if
we
we
don't have
have,
time to
seriously,
debate.
I can't do this.
okay, but do you understand that you're under arrest and you're
I
gonna be
understand
taken to the
I'm under
jail
arrest
one
now.
way or another, okay?
I don't care.
Susan,
I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
I don't. What you're saying and doing right now is not reasonable.
I know it's not
There's been
reasonable, but I
peop-
just can't do this.
So when you
So-
say it's not reasonable, that doesn't make sense to me.
I understand. I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
Okay. Then this is why we're in this position here, Susan, is because the decisions you make are not reasonable. You make, just like what
I'm
we're
sorry.
experiencing right now.
I'm sorry. I just can't do this. I can't do this.
I've had people sit in this chair that have done things and they get up, they walk out on their own accord. They've done some really bad things. Okay, you're not the only person, but I need you
I
to...
just feel horrible. I can't do this.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the jail. There's no changing this. There's no stopping it.
I don't care. Kill me.
We're not going to kill anybody. We're going to take you to the jail. We'd rather you walk on your own. We'd rather you just walk down there. It'd be so much better for everybody if we could just walk down
Can
there.
you just stand up for me?
No.
So what do you plan on sitting here the rest of the night?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to die of a heart attack.
Well, like I said, they have medical staff over there. We want to be able to get you over
The
there.
quicker we get you over there, the quicker someone over there that's in medical can see you.
No, I just can't do
Susan,
this.
this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna put you in handcuffs, and if we have to forcefully bring you out there, that's what we
We're
have to
gonna
do,
do
because
that.
we're
I
obligated
really don't want
to take you to the jail now, okay?
Thank you for
I'm
standing up.
sorry. I just...
I understand that.
So put your hands behind your back for me.
I mean,
Thank you, Susan.
I didn't do this on purpose. This wasn't a purposeful act. I did not premeditate it. I didn't do anything like that. This is ridiculous.
So Susan's day in court is finally coming this week, and I'll be watching.